we're getting close to the end, at least for the first phase of this.
There's a lot of that nervousness or anticipation whenever you start getting something polished and ready to put out there. But because we're building off of something that does exist and we are confident is good, that element isn't there.
Really, it's just like finalizing stuff is kind of where we're at now. We have pretty close to final sculpts done.
Right now, things are super busy, and we're trying to tie up everything that we need to so that these products are ready enough to sell to people. So that's kind of the phase that I'm in right now, is really trying to finish up the solo rules and getting those into play testing so that we can have those ready as soon as possible.
It's much more easy to like set a deadline and just check it off and then feel good about checkbox, checkbox, checkbox.
Whatever we show the customer needs to be more or less what they're going to get when they buy it. Even though it's a pre-order, even though it might be like a digital mock-up version, has to look as close to as we can get.
It's the polishing state where we have to take this creative thing and figure out how to price it and put it out there.
I think it's put us on a really good trajectory to be ready to go. We're going to do these kind of going with the Japanese zodiac. This year is Year of the Dragon, so everything is going to be kind of themed around that.
It is currently the Year of the Dragon, and this ties nicely into the campaign.
Rules-wise, players will get the new raid scenario, which is going to be released for free as a PDF. Everybody will have access to that once all of this stuff goes live. Secondly, there will be the new campaign supplement, the Ryu and the Rain, which will take players through a map-based campaign where they're trying to save the Japanese archipelago from literally just being flooded into non-existence. That supplement is designed for level 8 characters, so everybody out there that's been waiting to use your max level hunters, this will be the opportunity to do that. Part of that campaign supplement will also offer higher leveling for max level characters. You'll now be able to take all of your hunters up to level 12, give them new abilities, new perks, new items. We're going to add a whole bunch of new content specifically designed for all of your hunters that you've put so much time into. The last thing that campaign supplement will include is rules for pickup games and random scenario generation. One thing that I've gotten a lot of comments about is once you play through most of the scenarios in the book, there's not a whole lot of reason to continue playing. So we're going to add some new stuff that will give players a little more meat to chew on for their higher level characters and more reason to kind of show up at the game store and play some of these different game modes. We're also going to be introducing the first solo campaign, Hametsu Legends Musashi, which will take you through a 7-game scenario where you play as Miyamoto Musashi and get to level him up through his own specific path of legend. And there are rules in that book about once you get him to max level, how you can incorporate him into your regular hunting parties. Lastly, we're going to have a couple MDF kits that'll be included. We're going to have a Sakura tree kit made out of pre-painted MDF. So if you're having trouble sourcing good-looking cherry blossom trees, this can help fill out your table. And we're also going to include a Japanese boat kit, which is going to be useful if you're playing through the second campaign. It has been raining ceaselessly in Japan for months now. And the little bit of infrastructure that humans have been able to keep that hadn't completely failed already because of the Cataclysm are now starting to become an issue. This flooding, Kappa, that up until this point had just kind of lived in the ocean post-Cataclysm when they were released, they have started to push inland because they're realizing the water is creeping up onto the land, and they can now go further inland without being separated from the water for as long.
I made this first Kappa, and I was kind of designing it from an experiment of I just want to learn how to sculpt.
Plus, them having these bowls of water on their head with the rain allows them to kind of keep themselves topped off. If you don't know anything about Kappa, in lore, they have a bowl of water on their head, and when they spill that water out of their head, they become unconscious.
It's like this weird creature that's like a half turtle, half human thing. And they're just when you look at artwork of Kappas, they're so funny looking. The ones that Connor sculpted are so cool, and they really capture some of the silliness about Kappas, but at the same time, they're really ripped and tough looking.
Starts getting into this untold myths, this untold lore of how did the Kappa and Hametsu band together? Why do they act like they do? How are they different than Oni?
The hunters get recruited to figure out what's going on and why this is happening. They have to figure out why it's happening. They're going to have to figure out how to solve it, and they will have to do the thing that they have to do to solve it. One thing that's been really humbling and also motivating about this process is that people are hungry for this content.
You just never know sometimes how things are going to land. Whether it's going to sell really well, or whether it's going to sell mediocre, or whether it's going to sell really poorly. We don't know. All we know how to do at this point is make cool and compelling looking products and try and put them out there and capture people's interest.
And going into this project, I was a little hesitant, if I'm being honest, because while Hametsu has done really well and has sold really well, you're always nervous about it. You're always nervous about how this stuff kind of comes to fruition.
I'm really excited, but I'm also a little sad because the design process, the creative process, we get really into it, and that's going to somewhat be concluding. Once we get it boxed up, once we get the product, once we start pushing it into production, all of that's going to kind of fade away until the next time.
It makes me really excited getting this seasonal format set so that we can start doing this consistently. I already have plans for what we're going to do next year. The layout of what's coming, for Year of the Snake. The game's growing, and I'm excited to see where it goes.